your team comp that's relatively easy to pick up in a draft. But we'll see what happens here, because I think draft was curious by both sides, and Immortals maybe pick themselves into a bit of a corner for the end of that game. Well, we'll see what happens, of course. Syra Syndra banned out from Immortals in Phase 1. Kirill and Rengar from Echo Fox. So we're seeing a lot of just general strong champions banned once again. Red side goes for the kind of typical bans and more targeted bans here from Immortals. Actually, as they once again ban Syra and 2 mid laners away from Froggen.
Yep. And so last time, the only ban that changed was actually Ryze wasn't banned.
Yep.
And Cassiopeia wasn't set. So when you see the Cassiopeia ban, you expect the Ryze to come through because Cassio is the typical counter.
Yep. LeBlanc, of course, the last man from Echo Fox, and Ryze, the easy first pick there from Immortals. So kind of all going according to plan right now as far as the draft goes. I love the Maokai lock-in though from Lupa, and we're going to go for Gate Malzahar once again. Solid champions, can flex the Malzahar if you wanted to, but these do their jobs and they do them very well. That's why they're such popular champions.
Yep, and you might expect the Misfortune to come back through for Immortals early on to try and counter the Malzahar. It was okay in lane, but the question is it effective enough in the late game, or do they want more CC from that bottom lane? Is there a possibility that they go for something else here instead to try and get some pressure?
I wonder if they'll go Varus Misfortune here, perhaps. I kind of like the Varus here from Cody Sun. You mentioned CC. I mean, his Ashe looked okay, but arrows weren't quite hitting like we've seen from other top caliber Ashe players. This brings a little bit of CC from your bottom lane, while probably giving Olleh that aggressive support that he did perform very well on.
Yeah, if you do want to tank, you go for something like Nautilus, or you go for the Rek'Sai in the jungle if you want to play a carry top. I talked about it last time, where if you see a Fiora top, typically the team wants to have the Cinder Hulk Rek'Sai in the jungle, because you think about the junglers on the tier list, it's really the only one that's in that S tier that'll build the Cinder Hulk and build tanky. Everybody else kind of goes for warrior like Kha'Zix, then you have the Graves, then you also have the Rengar on top of that. So you go down that tier list, and Rek'Sai's really the big tanky one.
Good champion to take away from Akaadian. It was banned actually in the last game, so I like this pickup in general from Immortals. Froggen, once again, going to pick the Anivia. He likely knows his matchup. It's 90+% Pobelter's Ryze here in this particular game. Flame, of course, could play the mage if he wanted to, but Misfortune's going to get banned by Echo Fox, as we have moved into Phase 2 of the bans now as well. And that's kind of the obvious one here. Olleh didn't take it, so Echo Fox easily take it away from him.
Yeah, it's difficult for the Ryze to get in onto the Anivia, so I like that pick here from Echo Fox, especially since Anivia was banned in the second phase by Immortals last time. So now they have a pretty okay matchup in the mid lane, comfort for Froggen as well, and it stops sieges. So Immortals closing games out becomes very difficult against the likes of an Anivia.
Well, what's the second ban here for Echo Fox? Their final ban of the whole draft. It will be Lulu, actually. So targeting kind of counters or strong picks versus that support Malzahar. Obviously, giving it away with the first few picks that they support Malz, unless Lupa's really doing something wonky with Gay. But I like this, you know, pinch a role that you've already taken. You've taken one of the best champions for it. Take away all the counters, and Olleh's going to have to fall very far down and probably not be able to answer the Malzahar. And when Malzahar is left unchecked, very powerful.
Yeah, most likely the Karma would be the next pickup there. I think, assume the Jhin, yeah, as the next ban there. So Caitlyn might get picked up by Keith. Lucian's still on the table, and so is Kalista. And those are kind of those 3 champions, as well as Ezreal, that are in that pool that you would want to play in the AD carry role right now. Unless you're Piglet, and then you just go for Twitch.
So I think it's interesting because the bottom lane didn't get much attention, but was a real back and forth, it felt like. So to see both teams target bottom lane with their second phase of bans, but in a very different way, is kind of curious. Support's banned for Echo Fox, AD carry's banned for Immortals. Ezreal is the champion Keith has to fall to. Very safe champion, is almost always good. May not be great in a lot of stages, but if you're a strong Ezreal player in particular, you're almost always going to make it work.
Yeah, very large effective range or long effective range, but no CC really unless he gets an Iceborne Gauntlet. And then that cuts into his damage of the Trinity Force build that he would really like to have. And that's what I also thought it would be for Olleh. He is a legacy Morgana player. First time I actually ever saw Olleh play, he was the first person that I had seen not put points into W on Morgana. He was all points in Q and Black Shield. He didn't want to shove the wave, didn't want to do anything like that, or take away from the fact that he would have a longer binding time. So it was just Q and E back and forth. And it was actually really interesting. So good to see him on this champion. That's comfort for him.
Well, love that there. And comfort again for Flame, who almost managed to tip the scales back in favor of Immortals there in the first one. Kha'Zix will be the lock-in for Akaadian. So I kind of like this, taking Dardoch champion from game 1 away from him. We'll see how he performs on a significantly stronger jungler, at least as far as perception or tier lists go. But Flame, like you said, paired with the Rek'Sai this time feels like a very strong thing. Dardoch likely going to be there in the top lane helping Flame out. We've seen Flame when he gets going, he is more than happy to try and carry a game. And he got very close in game 1.
Exactly. That's the thing, though. He's got to get going. So the Rek'Sai might make some early ganks up top, whereas last time was a little bit more focused on the bottom there from Dardoch, and the picks and bans definitely focused the bottom lane here, was trying to get Immortals a little bit of a better matchup if they could, and try to push Keith off of utility and onto something where he has to do a little bit more damage and put himself out there.
Yeah, Akaadian and Froggen again are going to have to be the real big forces in this game. Lupa can still perform and help shore up Echo Fox's team fighting with the Maokai, and he did have a lot of good moments in that game as well, particularly when Echo Fox did get around to fighting. Be kind of curious to see how the comp works out. It feels like a very similar makeup as far as the compositions go here. So once again, after a very long game one where you could point out mistakes on either side, Immortals Drop may have shoehorned them a little bit last time, but I think in this game, given that they picked similarly, it's going to be, as always, execution.
Yep, and execution is what it comes down to here, and there's a lot of pick potential on both teams, actually. You could get caught out by the Anivia, the Malzahar, anything like the Maokai too, but then Immortals have a lot of their own as well. That bottom lane, when you have a Varus and a Morgana, binding lands, you're eating a big arrow. Or, if the vice versa, right? You're going to eat a big arrow, or you're going to eat the Chain of Corruption. Morgana's going to come through next.
Yep, so I like it all here. We'll see what happens though in game number 2. Immortals and Echo Fox back onto Summoner's Rift for our second game of the series. Echo Fox looking for their first series win. They got their first game win in the first one, and Immortals, of course, a fresh season with a bunch of new players on the roster. Pobelter, the only remaining player from last year. We'll see if they can tie things up and try and get a first series win. Immortals were almost unassailable last year. Dropping a series here would be a very different feeling for what I suppose is a very different team as well.
Yeah, very different team, but still has that name. It still has Pobelter as well. Oh, actually spotted somebody in that bush. Spotted Keith. So we'll be able to check items and know that that's who he saw.
Hat was sticking out.
Yep. Unlucky. But also, I want to talk about this as well, because Immortals last time actually didn't really have any CC in their composition. It was Ashe, Arrow was really the CC that they had. They had Misfortune, Fiora, Kha'Zix, and Corki. So the only hard stun on that team would be a Riposte or the Ashe Arrow. So now they have a lot of low cooldown CC that they could use to catch people or pick people, which did seem to be a problem for Immortals previously, where they had to wait constantly, like you were talking about, on Cody Sun's Arrow. Every time, arrow, arrow, arrow. Now they can make plays with more frequency. And
it seems nice that even if they fall behind, they have good tools to find picks and get themselves back in the game. And if they get ahead, then they can just start steamrolling through and go pick after pick after pick. So we'll see how the early game goes. Echo Fox have looked almost spotless in the early game as Lupa. Ooh, he's going to face check a couple. Flame and Dardoch there. Good Q from Lupa, gets them out of the way. But that looks like a buff steal coming through, and immediately Cody Sun and Olleh going to check this.
Yep, going to chunk him out. Akaadian. Yeah, they have to run back. They can't actually continue to poke him down there, because then they get cut off and collapsed on. And now he has to walk the long way around. You can't walk into a Malzahar that has the W rank 1, because then he just gets 2 Voidlings and he just chunks you out.
Yeah, and Gate knows this. He's going to chase him all the way over.
Go around. Go all the way around. No cheating. Go all the way around.
He's actually still going, but Akaadian's coming in as well.
Exactly. Assisting Akaadian to get in here onto the red buff, because the red buff was stolen by Dardoch, and they know that because they had seen him with Looper previously on the top side.
It's actually still going, but he's going to help with the buff instead, which I like. Dardoch back to his blue buff, of course, so there's some vertical jungle here unless Olleh has a miracle pull steal in mind.
Yeah, there's no smite here, so... All right, he got it.
Isolation damage is enough as Lupa. A lot of damage at level 1. Flame really abusing those vitals with the lunge.
Well, when you know where the enemy jungle is, you can go in as a top laner. He's on bottom side of the map. Absolutely no threat to me in the top side. So Lupa has to play more defensive, and Flame gets to play further up, especially since Rek'Sai, they know, is on this side of the map because he wasn't at that red buff.
No, Akaadian level 2 is actually going to go back towards his Gromp, so the jungle was not disrupted by Dardoch's early start, but maybe some initiative gained there by Immortals, and safety for Flame is even better. So Dardoch already influencing that top lane. We'll see if he directly goes there and trying to get a gank off, or if he's happy to leave Flame in that 1v1. And we know Flame is pretty happy in a 1v1.
Yeah. Very happy. If you can leave him on an island there, he'll just start to develop a lead. And it's insane to think about how he came back and was just pushed off onto a side lane. And then the team played around the fact that he was there the whole time, that they didn't get caught out, that they didn't give up too many kills afterwards. So Immortals did have a good defensive style that they were able to play for a long period of time. But Echo Fox, they need to up their aggressive style. They need to find ways to close the game.
Well, very curious to see if Akaadian can make it 4 for 4 in first bloods. He's going to mosey on it into Immortals jungle, excuse me. Does find Dardoch, but he's a level down. Gate's here as well for some assistance. Wants to steal the plants. Gate really trying not to auto it. But I think maybe now they'll go for it. And yeah, they can take the ward down now as well. So good save there from Gate on the plant. Yes. And a lot of action early actually from Echo Fox's support player.
things I've been noticing when supports invade is they'll try to hit every plant that they can in the enemy jungle. Oh, Morgana binding.
That's a face. Binding straight in there. In fact, Keith's just going to go in. Olleh pretty squishy. In fact, Keith's straight in. Gets himself exhausted, but there's the exhaust following in. Heal used as well as Dardoch. We're going to try and make something happen, but I believe he got spotted. He did. Smart disengage there from Echo Fox.
It's so much damage from the Malzahar support with the Voidlings coming out, and they just multiply in those first few seconds and just make even more. And if he has 2 ammo charges, he just gets 4, and they just start ripping people apart. And when I talked previously about Olleh's Morgana and not putting any points in W, he definitely puts points into W in this matchup because of the fact that he wants to just get the oh.
That was a really cool blast cone usage, and Lupa's going to try and gank Flame. Akaadian see a Flame. I think he knows that something's up. He's got a flash. Can he get himself out of the way? Akaadian, can he make a fall before he lands it? Does it again!
He got him as he flashed too. He predicted the flash. He put himself in the leap to get ahead. And he's like, no matter what Flame does, I kill him here. If he flashes, I'm queuing backwards. If he's in front of me, it's forwards. So it's a buffer there on the Q spell. Hold on, though.
Teleport from Lupa, dive in from Dardoch. Keith looking to go down, but he's not dead just yet. Dardoch still chasing his Pobelter's here. Flash in as a Pobelter will get it with a Rune Prison, but Dardoch now getting chased out of the way. It was actually Froggen that came down as well with Lupa, but no kill trader back there. Nice dive from Dardoch.
Very nice orchestrated dive there. Flame also gets to go to the top side of the map with his teleport, recover a little bit here too. Has the cull, will start to farm up again, even though he got ganked. Now, oh, lands on Gate.
That's bad news for Gate, but the spell shield's on Gate. He's gonna go down. No, Froggen just takes out Dardoch instead with a combo, and Gate's gonna flash his way out to safety. Akaadian now covering for the rest of his team. He's just everywhere. Froggen wants it, he wants Olleh, stuns him up, damages there, Akaadian again, 2-0.
Again, Akaadian off to a great start here, and Froggen is well on top of it. Just absolutely beautiful play on the Anivia, kept track of the flash, threw out the Q because he was up against a wall. He had no other options on where to run. And also the one previously, he let it pass through and did the Q afterwards, so the spell shield broke. He still got the stun on it on Dardoch.
And again, they're very familiar with these champions, particularly Froggen with his. Watch this again. I like that Immortals are playing aggressive, but Echo Fox are answering very well.
Right here, boom, boom, and it still stuns Dardoch. So, really well played there. And Akaadian comes through, and now Olleh puts himself up against a wall, and he can't walk backwards because Akaadian dodges the binding. And yep, there's really no option there for Olleh to get away. He moves up, there's a minion there blocking him. If he goes down, it's not enough. So yeah, Echo Fox out to another early lead here. And Akaadian, I believe that was another first blood.
He's 4 for 4 now.
4 for 4.
2 of those games were losses, so this man just has something going on when it comes to killing people for the first time. Cloudstrike also over to Echo Fox. Bit of help from Malzahar. They're really easy to take objectives, so smart play again after capitalizing on Immortals over aggression. And again, I do like that Immortals are trying to be more proactive, but Dardoch overextended himself there, and Echo Fox punished very well.
Yep. Flame, he did get a little bit off of that though, because he got the teleport out of Looper to the bottom side. He got the TP to the top, so it was punished on the bot side, and Dardoch did a good job of diving in. But ultimately, what it comes down to is the gold isn't actually that different, because the fact that Flame got to CS.
Oh, he stole it.
Akaadian is like, I see you, I see you. Akaadian's actually smiling more about that than Dardoch was.
Dardoch definitely with a pretty serious look on his face right now, as Froggen gonna take his own blue buff. Very swift pick up there for Anivia. Gonna move yourself back to the mid lane. You have 2 mana scaling items on these champions in mid. Not too surprising, but the early tier and the catalyst being done is good news. Gating some damage there.
And this is actually like so cool. I just wanted to talk about like the 10 bans again, because I did it previously with what we were seeing from Akaadian with Graves. It's like Froggen's just gonna play Anivia, right? It's like not a problem at all. Akaadian though, speaking of
Dardoch gets a knockup. Now leap away, but here comes the ulti up from Pobelter. He's invisible, but not for long enough. Stun's gonna cover, just gets Pobelter, and Dardoch zoned away by Glacial Storm.
Sometimes you just gotta hit the blast cone. You just gotta do it and hold on Gate.
Okay, that's a knockup. That's gonna be death. Pobelter, his 2nd kill of the game.
And now that Ryze banned out so frequently. Off to a good start here up against the Anivia. And the Anivia, it's hard to close the distance on her. She'll slow you, she'll stun you. He has enough. You can't wait that out. He's got blue buff, right? It'll take a long time. All right, there you go.
He knows Froggen's love for minion waves.
It's like Froggen is just zoning him off, making sure he can't pick it off. Or pick it up.
But I like it, but Froggen doing very nicely in the lane so far. Flame dashing back in onto Lupa. So let's proc that Vital and do a decent chunk of damage, but Lupa's actually not too poorly off at this stage.
It actually looks like Froggen's kind of going off to the side here, clearing out, I believe, a control ward in the bush, who's feigning towards top.
Great bait from Looper, actually. Kind of looks like the jungler's there, but we can see, of course, that Akaadian's not, but it gets a good trade down. Flame maybe hesitant to commit, or Looper just knowing some trade patterns well. Dardoch actually towards the top side of the map. He's going to use that ultimate to get to the Grunt, but we'll see if he wants to make something happen even more. And Froggen hugging the left side of this lane a lot in his roam maybe indicates he's also trying to help Looper out in a particularly tricky 1v1.
Somebody's going to get help out. Nice block there.
Good hands.
The Voidling actually spawns instantly, even before it shows the animation.
He takes damage, but he's trying to bait for Akaadian, who's actually coming bottom lane. I think this is the first time we've seen a jungler in the series come towards this side of the map early on. Akaadian to binding though, arrows in. That's going to be good damage, but exhausted down. Here's Akaadian with a surprise. Olleh taking damage from the Ezreal True Shot Barrage, but it's not enough for another kill.
Yeah, the fact that Froggen has priority on the mid lane, you can see he was just playing off to the right side there. Once again, Akaadian down to the bottom lane to try and get them some turret pressure. They've actually been losing this lane here. Both of them have ended up dying. One of them got picked off earlier. Dardoch coming through for Akaadian.
Now they know
try
he's
to
here.
push him off.
Akaadian leaps out. He's safe, but Control Ward's going to keep that Tri-Bush clean for Immortals bottom lane. Akaadian instead going to go over to the Scuttle Crab.
I expect to see some fighting up top quite soon because of that, because they saw both junglers on the bottom side. But no, it's just going to be wave clear here. All right. Yep. It's just the Maokai.
Once again.
Do your thing with the Cole.
Once again, Fiora's just going to have to scale up. Early Cole once again, like you mentioned for Flame, means he's happy to farm it out and kind of wait till the 2-3 item mark like we saw in game number 1. As far as strength goes, it kind of just is the junglers at this point. Cinder holds for Dardoch, and the early warrior, with both of them having red smite here, does mean that they can influence a lot. And you can see them coming to lanes quite often, trying to influence them, going bot, which is a bit of a different look than we saw in the first game. Other than that, in the mid laners, and Froggen does have TP, they're going to be the ones to really influence this. Good poke from Akaadian.
Got the ghost.
Gets the summoner.
This is just pressure on the bottom side. Olleh kind of zoning Akaadian off.
Good coverage, and that's how it's going to go down, actually. Once again, Immortals abuse that back timing.
Yep, abused the back timing because they sent Ezreal and the Malzahar back, even though they were the ones that were pushing. So that's first turret going down in favor of Immortals, so they get that extra gold.
And we want to talk about Akaadian's first blood rates. He's 100% so far. 2 for 2 bottom turrets in the series for Immortals is also nice, and that's the first turrets as well. So a bit of extra gold is always looking good. And you mentioned it already, Cody Sun actually pretty significantly winning in CS here. 20 up with that turret gold, going to give him a nice leg up. I think we kind of expect Ezreal to not fare too well in lane, but he tends to balance lanes out and at least go even, and this isn't quite even, unfortunately.
Yeah, and the fact that Echo Fox now have a bit of a disadvantage, 2,000 gold down, mostly because of the CS difference and the fact that there is a call, even a little bit more gold, just a little bit, and the fact that they got first turret.
Oh no, Olleh baited him in. Here comes Akaadian, the 130 Sun, there's the kill. Looking for the reset, Olleh gets chunked out, my goodness.
And the bottom lane gets destroyed. Pobelter and Dardoch looking for Keith here.
Trying to run, Pobelter has ulted his way in, and Keith doesn't have too many places to go. Flash Rune Prison's gonna give Pobelter yet another kill. It is jungler versus mid here for Fox versus Immortals.
Oh, that's risky, and he goes right in there.
Does the smart thing, goes straight through the tunnel, but might lose the turret. This is massive for Echo Fox if they can take this down, because all of a sudden, those good early games, lockdown as well for Gate. Dardoch gonna get stunned up again. That's just reckless, and Gate takes him down.
Gate hitting level 6, pops the ultimate there. Dardoch, seems like he was a little bit too eager to just get in there, and yeah, Gate had been 6 for quite a while as well, so it wasn't just something that just popped up.
That's not the first time we've seen it, but we'll kind of watch this again. This is such great synergy from the mid and jungle.
Taking such big risks here, and yeah, mid-jungle synergy so important, and this large advantage comes through that here for Echo Fox in that mid lane.
And then Keith goes on an adventure.
I think Dardoch might have actually failed getting over the wall with a tunnel? Or maybe, maybe he went over and then he flashed back. Because that flash and the tunnel was on cooldown. What happened? Something happened. Scene of the crime.
There's some kills traded there is nice. Nice parry there from Flame. They continue dealing a bit of damage to Loop of it. Loop is pretty tanky even in the early stages with Flame not having the items up just yet. And I really do want to have a look at Dardoch here because we've seen multiple times already he's gone in quite aggressively and it's cost him his life, I think, on almost all of the occasions. Dardoch is a hot-headed player, that's for sure. Someone that does not take losses lightly. He loves to win. He's got this great competitive fire. It's why he's such a strong-looking player, but you have to worry that Dardoch still got some maturing to do, and those sort of reckless plays, if he keeps doing them, it's obviously bad for his team in the game, but that's something he'll have to learn over the course of the season.
Yeah, it's one of those ganks where afterwards, like, how did they still have this up? But hold on, here's a gank in the top lane.
Dardoch looking for a tower dive. Flame trying to get ahead here. Lupa does have the flash. Can he outplay here? Dardoch actually taking turret.
What? That was... Okay, Flame actually backed off first, even though he wasn't the one tanking turret. That was really awkward. But Pobelter, he has the ultimate, but... Uh-oh. Right into their hands!
Oh no, feels bad. Gets exhausted. Akaadian's going to chase in. That could be another kill. Voidling's in for a flash auto. And there's the shutdown, but 3 members top. Teleporting from Froggen to defend his top laner. Binding land. Flame in on top of it, but Lupa still there. Oh! Advanced flashes enough Flame. He still wants at the wall. Barely not enough, but Flame likely going to go down. Froggen doesn't get the counter kill. Cannon minion secures it. Froggen's favorite.
Oh, the cannon minion picks up the kill there on the Flame. Played pretty well there across the map from both teams, but Echo Fox, they do come out on top. They have the momentum as well, but Froggen, they know.
It's like a 5-year career killing cannon minions. How does he curry favor and get the other one to shoot him?
Paid that one off, but hold on.
Yeah, caught him binding. Dardoch taking damage, looking for the 1v3. Got exhausted, does have an egg flash. Order! It's enough. Cody Sun gonna flash out from the storm. And now Immortals gonna try and take him down. Ultimate's made. There's the shutdown.
That was almost a huge outplay from Froggen. He put the wall right on where Dardoch was coming out. Hold on though, can't talk about that because here comes Flame.
Gate looking a little vulnerable. Keith's like, see you, buddy, I'm out of here. Gate's actually, no, see you, buddy, I'm out of here. And Keith's like, how do I get out? Flash over is good with the E. Pobelter locks him up on the other side. Keith stands his ground. Pobelter kills him.
Meanwhile, Akaadian
sneaks the Drake.
Don't let them check Drake. Don't let them check. Don't let them check.
Okay, Pobelter has a trinket ward, doesn't throw it over the back, and Akaadian gets his team the second Drake of the game. First one was early, so second Ocean is nice, and we did see a lot of Drakes being taken by Echo Fox before, maybe looking to snowball them again.
Yeah, I mean, speaking of snowballing, Akaadian mid 4-0-2, and like Pobelter sees this, he's got ward right there. He's went right into them. Looks like it wasn't the best use of his ultimate, of course. Really good job here, Flame. Almost kills Looper, but then Looper with the counter, but hold on. Back to live.
Nothing happening.
Yeah.
You have to hold your breath because you know,
it's
usually
like,
if they're cutting...
What does the camera know that we don't?
Yeah, because they always know something I don't.
It knew it! It knew it! Oh, okay, never mind, it didn't.
Not this time at least, but I mean, a really high-intensity game. We're 16.5 minutes in or so with 14 kills happening. We saw a pretty bloodthirsty game, I believe, in Echo Fox's first game yesterday versus P1. And I like that both teams are turning up the intensity, but Echo Fox again with a stellar-looking early game.
Yeah, their early game has been really solid, and even despite the fact that Immortals were farming a little bit better in their lanes, had a winning bottom lane, had a winning top lane, gets turned around by Akaadian once again. Lose out on first turret gold as well, but Echo Fox are now up in structures and are doing quite well. Sure, it's not 6,000 gold lead or anything like that, but right now...
That's a dead Cody Sun!
Another pick!
And Akaadian gets credit for that kill once more. 5 kills now.
Make me look good, guys. Let me get all the kills.
Yeah, pump the KDA up. But like the player of the game.
Exactly, right? He is a carry jungler right now, and he has been doing wonders for this squad because normally it'd be like, all right, another Echo Fox game where they do nothing for the first part, but now they're very, very active. And this is really cool to see and watch it develop over time.
I love the double TP play. Echo Fox are making very crisp rotations together, starting to force a lot of skirmishes, and Gate's pretty much been stuck with Akaadian this whole time. 2v2 again. No, it's going to be 3v2 as always in the backside. Akaadian trying to get away, but he saved himself. The Hex Drinker popping does help him out. There's a teleport onto a Voidling, which is adorable, and Froggen trying to wall somebody off. It's Dardoch that he's caught in the trap. Looper falls in after the flash, and Froggen looks to get the stun back in. Not chilled there on the E, so that's not quite there. Must not have had the cooldown, because that was going to be a kill.
Yep, and now they just get to push up that top lane. That might be another turret going over to Echo Fox, so they'll have all of the tier 1 turrets down here, and it's kind of like what happened last game. They get all of those outer structures down. Phase 2 is very difficult for them. They do have pick potential. They do have Froggen on the Anivia for comfort. How are they going to do it?
And I think that's the difference that you highlighted, that instead of just using their superior map rotations, they had a Twisted Fate before they used their teleports for early from Looper and taking structures kind of that way. I like that they're actually looking for kills first and then taking the objective. It's kind of like an older style of League of Legends in a lot of ways, but sometimes just brute forcing them. I mean, the easiest way to take an objective when you have no one to contest it for you. getting picks off does help there, and I like the Echo Fox sticking together and using their pick tools effectively.
Exactly, and now the fact that they have so much damage and ability to pick people off, they can play to that. But they didn't get that last structure up top yet. Keith will shove this wave out one more time. He actually doesn't have any support here, so he's going to have to kind of play a little bit safe. Not exactly sure which side of the map Dardoch is on. There's nothing in that southern part of the jungle for Echo Fox to see.
Everyone's still kind of scaling up as well. We're almost 20 minutes into the game. Drake not spawning just yet. Timers are pretty desynchronized that you might expect from a normal game to the 7-minute cloud that Echo Fox took. VODS stacking up for both mid laners though. Looks like Froggen's going for Morello Nomicon for another additional bit of mana from the Lost Chapter, and will likely build into that very efficient item. But we've got the Archangels done now for Pobelter building in towards the Seraph Transform, and Flame is approaching those two items with the AD carries kind of still collecting pieces and looking for their first major one. So the mid-game teamfight's going to look pretty close. Froggen actually just finished his item, so he's quite strong right now. Teleports back to try and force something here, but Immortals are playing pretty smartly and a little far back, giving the respect right now, even though the gold is quite close.
Yeah, just trying to get that pressure and stay on the map. But Scuttle Crab is going down for Dardoch, so Dardoch and Immortals will have the Scuttle Crab down. Gate, quite good at blocking those Dark Bindings with the Voidlings, just spawns them so quickly. Like I was saying earlier, they actually pop and register before the health bar or the animation shows. So it looks like it hits something else or nothing, and then it just pops up like, oh, it was there the whole time, I guess.
It comes from the void. That makes perfect sense.
You're right. It makes sense because the void doesn't make sense.
Flavor aligns. We've done it. Dardoch going to take himself the red buff. Ocean Drake is up in a minute now, so Echo Fox can look to get a second one for themselves and keep the Drake snowball going that they had in game 1. Looks like right now they're actually trying to work on that outer tower. Again, sticking together is the change I like here, even though the strategy looks very similar.
Yeah. Oh, they went over the wall.
Oh, it's a trap. They're actually looking for an early Baron.
But this is the thing. Exactly, it's a trap. They have the Scuttle Crab on Immortal's side. So this is actually them just saying, we're going to use the Blast Cone. People don't play around this just yet. Nobody really plays around this when they have that Scuttle Crab. They swept the pit. Akaadian will get low, but they'll still pick it up. And then, oh, wait, what happened? That's buried for Echo Fox.
And that's great. When we talked about their struggle to get Baron in game number 1, they did the complete opposite. Instead of waiting until the very end of the game to try and take it, they'll take it pretty much at the earliest possible moment. And what Echo Fox do with this Baron pickup will be so important to watch. Lupa eats the snare, then a binding, but pretty tanky, nice and safe with the Merc Treads helping him out. Akaadian back down to the bottom lane to cover here as well. Drake's up also here if they want to get the Drake for themselves. So Echo Fox, you have Baron buff. It's time to force something. Yeah.
Top lane, though, they will lose this. Keith is, for some reason, up against the Fiora, which is a bad allocation of resources, to be quite honest. So that's a free turret.
Akaadian locked up. Dardoch going to knock him up as well, but Pobelter going to eat the ulti up from Gay. Akaadian gets into the out, but shut down by Dardoch just barely. Olleh, though, taking damage from Lupa, almost goes down as well. Dardoch doesn't want to go through the storm. True shot barrage. Not going to hit. Nice little juke to the right there just to get out from under it. But Lupa trying to fight. He's forcing onto Dardoch. That should be a kill. Froggen gets himself one around the Ocean Drake. Echo Fox still chasing. Wall doesn't quite get Flame.
Yep. The fact that they killed the jungler means no smite steal possible. Might be another one falling to Echo Fox here. And I gotta say, Echo Fox, they've had some bad luck with these Drakes. And Keith, oh, hey, surprise.
Oh, Gates here as well, but Keith might die in it. As Arcane chipped out of the way. Don't want to pull too many people up to Drake, so they will get it. Flame, I like the attempt, but unsuccessful there.
Yeah, he also got silenced, so couldn't use another Q there to get to the other side. So Gate, I mean, big props to him on this Malzahar. He's been doing quite a good job. People don't have those QSSs yet, so he can still make those plays. And Binding hits Akaadian, and a really good reaction there from Froggen, because it makes Olleh have to go all the way around. He actually has to Tormented Soil onto Gate, whereas that would have killed Akaadian much faster.
Also gave them vision, which was kind of cute. You can see Echo Fox still confident in their team fighting, given that they're ahead.
Yeah, and usually team fighting has been their problem. Right here, the skirmishes back and forth. Ends up going quite well for Echo Fox, getting them that Drake on top of it after getting the jungler, picking off Dardoch.
Really nice stuff here, but Baron buff is starting to wear off these members, so I have to wonder just how much damage Echo Fox can do with that. That's one of the disadvantages of taking an early Baron. It's usually so early that it's difficult to do too much damage, even though it is tricky to defend. Echo Fox, I think, deciding to fight a few more. They wanted to get the third Drake, which they did get, but not getting too many turrets out of the deal would have really snowballed the gold lead for them. Keith will manage to get this one. They've got about a quarter of the buff left. if they want to try and do a bit more damage. But again, sticking together, covering keys here in top lane, and if Immortals come in for a fight, Echo Fox feel confident they can win that.
Echo Fox seem to be playing those fights and not being afraid to take them just yet, but it's only a 2,000 gold advantage for themselves, or 1.5k to be honest. And Flame, I mean, he just keeps split pushing. He's almost 40 CS up right now. Just slowly but surely trying to get advantages. He's the most CS in the game at the moment, and he's at that 10 per minute mark. So Flame is just very methodical, seems to be like on a pace, almost like a robot. Like, all right, let's just keep split pushing. And he hasn't been missing out on fights either, though. So it's been quite good positioning from him and wave manipulation, to be honest.
And we saw that from Immortals in Game 1. Flame was consistently a nuisance for Echo Fox, splitting the lanes, but we saw Pobelter duck in the sidelines. Their general understanding of the macro game seems to be quite strong, and that's how they delayed the game for so long. I think Echo Fox are trying to counter that by just killing them and preventing them from being able to set up the pushes, but they can't be too reckless with it, because if the waves are in a really bad spot, they're going to lose stuff.
Yeah, and right here, though, now Fox have control of the mid and the bottom. Pobelter's up top. This guy doesn't have TP. He doesn't have a way to really get there. He has Ryze ultimate rank 2, but how much damage will he get done to this turret in the time that they have to shove the bottom and the mid waves?
Well, I think they're going to try and dive Flame, perhaps, and Flame knows it.
Yep.
He's going to back away. Lupa does have coverage here, but Pobelter will finish off the turret.
That's pretty good for a Ryze, yeah.
No reason to really stop pushing either.
Everybody just plays safe. He has tempo on them. If they can slow this down, clear the minion wave out. Maokai.
Lupa went back, so Dardoch's going to get himself stunned. Ulti in as well. That's damage. Key takes him out. Flame dives into the other side, trying to take out Gate, and will barely miss out on the kill. Flashes in for it, but Akaadian gets away. Froggen stuns Olleh and goes in for the kills. The true shot for us picks him up on the back end. Lupa went to answer top, and that's a triple for Key.
Yeah, they didn't even need Looper in there. That's a 4-on-4. Pobelter not there. Large source of their damage. Dardoch gets caught again trying to engage when he saw that Looper was out of there, and now Looper TP's down bottom. They're going to get an inhib off of this. Fox definitely solved a little bit of that issue, but it was handed to them by Dardoch.
What was Dardoch thinking? Absolutely. As Fox are actually going to break the bottom inhib and maybe just go for the throat here. No reason not to. Pobelter's zoning him. That's going to be dead. Doesn't quite carry them to the Nexus, and damage is in. He'll flash out, but he barely escapes. Now Dardoch back in, trying to make something happen. Keith, he's going to get flash on Burrow, but Fox are going to fight their way out. Gate's not there, so it's 3v3 right now as Lupa, very tanky, but he's getting melted slowly but surely. He'll get taken out. No, not quite as Dardoch looks in. Pobelter secures that final kill, and here comes Flame. Akaadian's invisible, beats himself out of the way. Pobelter looking to chase down. Froggen's going to get turned into an egg and taken down as well. Immortals save themselves the game.
Yep, Flame looking for Akaadian here. Has a relatively low cooldown. Will he chase? No, he's going to go for the mid lane wave. He's going to push this up because they need to get this middle turret down, get some pressure off of them, especially since they just lost that bottom inhibitor. Try to open up the map a little bit more. Binding didn't land, and then the follow-up chain was a little bit later there onto Akaadian. And then Cody Sun not able to actually get a kill there either. Has to wait that out. Really, really good. Really well played there from Echo Fox. And I was going to take one more look at that myself because it looked like Gate actually got a fantastic silence there, which interrupted Cody Sun. But no, it didn't. But still, ended up playing that fight quite well.
I mean, I like it from Echo Fox, just going to the bottom lane, basically saying, hey, we're going to try and dive Flame here. They did send Lupa back, which was good. Even though Pobelter got a turret, they thought they could win an exchange there because he could TP back and then try and take something. And an inhibitor is a huge advantage at this stage of the game. And Echo Fox, it just feels like the pace has been picked up.
Exactly, and it's the bottom inhibitor as well. And Baron up in 20 seconds, shove in the mid wave, get control of the top and the mid side of the map. The bottom will take care of itself, get more turrets off of this, and then they'll be able to actually claim the Baron as their own if they want to, or if they win a team fight right beforehand.
It's just the confidence to Echo Fox that we didn't see until now. I said the Game 1 win might help with momentum. It does feel like that could be coming true here. They're sticking together. Again, it's really simple League of Legends, but it's effective, and that's what Echo Fox need to do. They said, we don't fight enough as a team. All right, fine, we'll force it. Get together. We're only going to play this as a 5-man.
Yeah, they were overcomplicating things for a little bit, and then they were also trying to do things without risk, but there is always risk in what you try to do to try and end the game. So when they were trying to make those picks, I mean, it was kind of like they were waiting in game 1 for somebody to make a mistake. There's a mistake from Keith.
Oh, it certainly is. Dardoch with the first kill there. Now 5v4. Gay getting chased in. Flame riposting Sun's Looper, but he's getting ulted down. Looper going to try and lock out the front of the team fight, but Akaadian has to book it. Froggen can't quite do enough damage. Great snare on the other side.
Olleh.
It's going to take him out. Froggen, he's really large, can hear Looper find the fight. Gay can't quite do it. Froggen goes down, and Looper now 1v4 will be crushed as well. He lives for a while, but that's a team fight win, Immortals.
Woo, and they are so low on top of this. Baron's going to do a decent amount of damage here. Is Gate going to stay? No, he's not. So Immortals. Is he back? There we go. Okay, finally backs up. So that's going to be Baron for Immortals.
Flame doesn't want to die.
Yep.
Make sure he peels off the Baron. They have to struggle creatively.
There's honey fruit right there, guys. It's like they really wanted to keep doing damage. You get the honey fruit and pick it up. But
Dardoch early smited as well, just for the health, knowing Akaadian was still dead, and this was just Keith hitting a snare that he didn't need to.
yeah, Cody Sun hitting Keith, who walked in front of everybody to try and get a Q there. And the pick and ban where they tried to force him onto something where you feel a little bit more confident on an Ezreal being forward because you can E backwards as opposed to like a Jhin where you always play back. So now Keith mispositions, gets caught out, and Olleh, great follow-up here, puts himself at risk by going in, gets another follow-up finding onto Froggen. Pobelter does go down there though, but they do get enough damage on top of it. Right now it's looks like it might be a smite fight in a second here, but they're waiting for more members. They actually, EchoFox don't know how many members of Immortal are there.
And again, Dardoch, we talk about his aggressive tendency as well. That was a very strong-headed play, but works out this time with EchoFox not having any additional knowledge. Might try and get a pick off here, actually. And they found Dardoch. That's good. The spell just not enough by the looks of things. And Looper follows him over the wall. There's a true shot right in, but Dardoch is very tanky.
Yep, got the black shield a little bit later, but it did help him out a lot to get out and escape. So now, just reset a little bit. Immortals, once again, 2K gold advantage. Again, EchoFox, again, it happened again. Somebody gets picked, somebody gets rooted, the positioning of their front line or their back line is incorrect, and EchoFox lose the team fight, and now the kills are even, they're in a deficit again.
I mean, that Baron,
I'm going crazy, Pastry. I'm going crazy.
That Baron buff does turn the game for Immortals. So when EchoFox looking for a pick, Dardoch again is the target. They have Malzahar ultimate, they'll still come in for a counter. The Colossus works! Cody Sun not quite there with the ultimate, but they do zone them away. Dardoch committed the flash to get away, but that's twice now they've tried and failed.
Yep, and now Flame going to continue to put pressure on this bottom side. He's pushing against super minions, and the inhibitor just respawned, so there are no more left in this wave, and he has the Baron buff up, so this is where Flame really shines.
Froggen caught again.
No egg.
It's okay. Seraph's Shield going to help him. Keith actually finally gets Dardoch. EchoFox get the prize they wanted. Flame is there with teleport. He has to back away.
Yeah, but they know that nobody is backed off. Nobody's backed off. They see all 5 of them there. They like, Looper's still here. Go for the gold. Start going for it.
Race on perhaps here as EchoFox trying to push against the Baron up minions. They want the turret. They're going to turn their attention to it. Flame going to commit for that inhibitor. Middle broken though. This could be dangerous for Immortals.
Yeah, depending on how Flame positions himself, he could try to end the game right now. He does have a decent amount of minions and a cannon minion wave. They're going to go for the bottom inhibitor. He's going to try to end the game.
Dardoch's dead for so long. I don't know if they want to do this. This bottom inhib who's going to go over. Flame is just slapping away at that turret. EchoFox know they have to leave.
They have to stop the back. They have to stop Looper's back. Oh, Looper made it back.
Gate made it back too, I think. No, there is Looper. Excuse me, you are correct. And that's Flame forced away. Great trade for EchoFox.
Yeah, Looper, good job hiding himself right outside of vision. If he gets stopped there, they have to keep running this entire route, and then maybe that's enough time for Flame to actually take another turret. He didn't have another minion wave coming up. He got cleared out quite quickly.
Oh, no! You don't want to stand there, but Dardoch actually caught as well. Ulted in by the mouth, and Anivia's through. Oh, they're going to go down to Keith. No, not quite, as Flame takes him out instead. Dardoch,
Froggen!
Fast forward, but Froggen going to get turned into a deck. EchoFox needs to go back into the team fight. Looper taking where he can. Froggen makes it back alive. No, not quite, as Pobelter does take him down. Akaadian, he knows he has to leave. He leaves the tree to die. He'll revive. Immortal's going to 3v1 him and take him down. This game is crazy.
And now they see Akaadian on the bottom side that he ran straight through. They have a gigantic minion wave on the top side. Flame is going to TP to the top side. It's going to be him versus Akaadian for 20 seconds, but he's at least going to get a turret, possibly an inhibitor on top.
He can't 1v1 the Fiora, surely. Akaadian made so much happen for this team already.
I mean, Flame is level 18. He's the only level 18 in the game right now. He is so much further ahead than everybody at the moment. He's been farming incredibly well, highest in the game, just by a little bit over Pobelter. That's going to be another inhibitor. Both inhibitors were taken by Flame in solo missions. He's doing work.
Great timing from Flame as well, because Keith and Gate respawned at exactly the same time. Had about 2 seconds to get out once the inhibitor fell down, but Great presence of mind from a player that has always been good in a side lane.
And that's the knowledge of a split-pushing top laner, where he looks at the death timer, says, it will take me 20 seconds to take both of these, and get out and be safe. A lot of people will TP, be like, I don't know if that's enough time, and then they'll try to do the inhibitor, and then all of a sudden, these guys are running out with home guard towards you, and you overestimated the amount, or underestimated the amount of time.
Well, all of a sudden, we have a real interesting game once again, as we have two different super minion waves fighting each other. Bottom lane will maybe cancel each other out, but it's top lane down for Echo Fox and mid lane still down for Immortals. Their inhibs will respawn sooner, but now Elder Dragon is on the table and up in a minute 55. Baron will spawn in a number of minutes as well. There's some big moments coming up in this game, and both teams are looking very hungry and very aggressive, which is a whole lot of fun.
Yep, and now this mid lane finally going to get knocked down here, and Immortals will take that last tier 1 that's been mocking them. But it's the only lane that has an inhibitor up, and they get to push it down.
Even on turrets as a result as well. Lupa, he's spending a lot of time trying to kill this super minion. Does have the teleport if he needs to join the team, so things are okay for now, but Flame lies in wait. Looks like the lucky customer may be Lupa, but Lupa knows a little bit better than that by the looks of things.
Yep. Wards on the side as well to make sure that they don't get flanked around. Flame is going to help escort this minion wave in. And when you escort a minion wave in on the side, it helps you open up options for yourself. Does he want to fight the tank? Does Dardoch come and help him and assist him? Or does he continue and push it all the way into the base, and then that gives him a flank angle? And then as soon as 1 or 2 people pull off of the main, they just push 4 down in the mid lane. They get that tier 2 turret. So actually pushing up the side wave when the inhibitor is down as a top laner can be very beneficial, because it gets him a better angle on the fights, and it pushes their tank, the Maokai, further into the base.
And I just caught a glimpse of Flame's player cam. He is so vocal on comms right now. Clearly knowing that this is the game he wants to play. Froggen gets chunked, though.
He's the wave clear. So now the wave clear is gone. The super minions were pouring in as well from the opposite side, so now they get a little bit more time, and Froggen has to go clear these out.
He's going to clear that top wave of supers, but Immortals still moving further forward, slow and steady. Seems to be the method right now, but things will break open so quickly. This game will end if just one team puts a foot out of line.
Oh yeah, and that's what the problem is you have to actually get a good angle on your opponent and make sure that you put him in a bad position. That's what Flame is trying to do. Flame keeps pushing, escorting these minion waves in, and now Akaadian and people start pushing to this side, playing to this side, and now Looper has to go top, so you start spreading them thin, but now there's objectives.
Yep, and now Immortals kind of have to think, this is a big decision to make. You have literally 2 sides of the map and the center all important to you. Where do you go? Immortals, the question, the answer, sorry, seems to be Baron, at least right now. But Echo Fox, they can't afford to give him the Elder Dragon, not with 3 Drakes.
Yep. Can't give it to them. Flame doesn't have TP, so he actually has to pull off. Goes to the blue buff, pick that up. They have complete vision of this. Flame, okay, so this is where it gets tricky. You have to 4v4 here. Looper has teleport, and this will actually get picked up so quick.
Yeah, that damage is insane from Immortals, as they just duck off with pretty much the perfect amount of time ready to take the objective down. And now Echo Fox know that we're still waiting for inhibs to respawn. I mean, mids respawn for Immortals, bots now respawn for Echo Fox, but there's still trouble to do, and Immortals just going to take this objective off the map.
Yeah, the Elder Dragon now on the map. They see everybody inside the base, so Olleh feels comfortable to actually back, pick up boots. Sorry, pick up the Phoenix Codex. Had the mobility boots the whole time. They were just actually moved. My eye was like, hey, look at that. But still.
And now Immortals have everything they need to try and end this game. They're almost 10,000 gold ahead. Echo Fox getting creative, seeing if someone sticks their nose a little too far forward. It could be Dardoch again. It's been very headstrong this game.
And they're going to try catch him out, not move, not trigger the tremor sense. Clever play. Try and play on the Rek'Sai like that, but now Immortals in the driver's seat. We're talking about gold advantages. Now it's up to about 8,000, 9,000. It's getting a little bit out of hand now. The Immortals are just, they have Baron, they have Elder.
Yep, it's everything. Immortals should be able to end the game from this point if they can just win one last little exchange. Flame is still guiding those minions in towards it with the Baron buff. Echo Fox is just running out of options. They have no good ones left, that's for sure. And Immortals are going to do what they kind of always have as a team, is, you know, play it safe, play at a pretty breakneck speed for the team. Maybe it's a little different now that the team's changed, but they've always been good at closing games. You have to think Pobelter's there, making sure the team is ending the game correctly.
Yep. Very hard to end the game against an Anivia, though. They have to make a play. They have to put themselves out there.
Well, doesn't Froggen know that? As he manages to wave clear that out. Flame going to get chased away. He's kind of trying to keep the little Baron cannon going for it. Keith and Froggen again joining in, making sure the top inhib stays down. In fact, Immortals back off. Golden Dragon does last a little bit longer now, I believe, so they'll have a bit more time with their buffs to play with, but couldn't find an angle they liked by the looks of things, so we're looking at a very brief reset.
Slow and steady is the name of the game now for Immortals. They clawed their way back into the game, and now approaching 6 items for the most of them here. So we're pretty much where we were last game, except Immortals have a little more in terms of tools to help them close it out. They have the CC to try and make picks. If you miss position, like you were saying, 1 step, 1 foot out of line, caught by Morgana binding, that could be it right there.
Looks like Pobelter's actually doing a top lane split push as well.
1-3-1, trying to do what Echo Fox did to them.
Well, with the Ryze ulti ready to go. Lupa though answering that. Ooh, ulti misses, but I like the attempt from Cody Sun. No reason not to poke them down, really. You can see the Varus poke actually doing a pretty significant chunk. Flame able to take the inhib once again. Dardoch making sure he stays safe, and there's Pobelter with the top lane.
Yep, that's how you do the 1-3-1. People pull off and push forward, especially if you're better in a 1v1. Like, how is the Ezreal supposed to deal with the Fiora? And you would want to put the Anivia on the side wave to wave clear, but you need her in the mid because you don't have a wave clear champion otherwise.
Oh, Pobelter, 1v1!
He's just delaying the inevitable
He
right now.
it off, Froggen, he flashes, and now the rest of the team is chasing him. He's shot ulti up, oh, he gets eaten up by Gate, and that's going to be a kill. Immortals lurching forward, trying to end the game. Flame is low.
Dardoch's on turret. He's going to try to get this turret, try to open up the Nexus.
He wants it. It's now open. Immortals, can they get in? Akaadian dives in onto Cody Sun, goes in Viz, going to look for the big play. Lupa straight in onto the backline. That's
Froggen got hit.
Sun dead. Froggen dead though from Flame, but turned into an egg. Crucially survives that moment, and Flame, don't think about it. It's not worth your life here. Echo Fox somehow defend a wide open Nexus.
Yeah, just place some wards around it, you know, maybe TP into it later. But there's a control ward pinged out. It's
yep.
Like, better clear that ward, boys. That could be an issue.
Gate's off to do it. He's like, yes, I know my job. Make sure that we don't get back to it.
Yep, there's one more ward, though, that's off on the left, right underneath Gate.
I mean, the minions can get in there as well, so they have to be careful because the wave will push through.
Yeah, he doesn't know who's back. If he goes over that wall as soon as... Yeah, they see him, actually. So, yeah.
A little indecisive there from Flame, but I think he's using his better judgment, and, yep, just going to take a couple of jungle camps instead. So the game will not end just yet. But there are no major buffs right now. Immortals, you have to think they're just going to charge in. They've got nothing left to take but the Nexus and the mid inhibitor and the bottom inhibitor, I guess, which is no, not respawn. Yeah, that's a control ward, excuse me.
This could get very interesting in this last fight because we've seen Ryze's ulti in Europe. That was a really good from Froggen to actually predict where Pobelter was going to go. He ran upward right into the queue. And then, boom, flash ulti. Right as it was about to go off, Pobelter goes down. Flame also engaged at the same time. And instead, Dardoch's like, the turret. The turret is what matters here. He's absolutely right. Getting that turret down is crucial because now they could make a Ryze play onto that Nexus. They could use the ultimate and get the Realm Warp onto it with 5 members if they wanted to.
We'll see how Immortals play the last minutes of this game. Doesn't seem like it'll last for too much longer, but we had a pretty long game in game number 1. We're 42 minutes into this one already, just 6 away from tying the game time in our first one. It's been a real back and forth exchange between these two teams, but Immortals, they just want to force another game here.
It's the last inhibitor in front of them. Echo Fox, though, they want to end it. They want to just have this be done with and over with and try to 2-0 Immortals. The gold, sure, it's an advantage right now for Immortals, but there's really half an item left to come in for some members like the Kha'Zix.
Oh, Keith. I thought he was going to walk back into that binding.
This is such a hard position to play from on Fox's side. Flame with GA, how do you deal with him if you walk and try to put too many members on him?
Cody Sun's ult hit Gate's passive. That's not a good look, but Akaadian not going to eat the binding, leaps away, but Gate eats it instead. Now Pobelter going to get the first kill. Flame just wants the Nexus. No, he's going to go for Akaadian. Shuts him down. Immortals going to surge forward, ravage through Echo Fox, and look to end the game. The Nexus is open. They are just going to take what they can. Lupa is tanking his best again, but Flame's going to end the game. Immortals, 2 force a third.
Echo Fox again with first blood and an advantage, but Immortals hold on. They use their CC and they tie up the series.
was that pivotal Baron take. Even though Echo Fox essentially cheesed the first Baron with a really clever early Baron there between Anivia and Kha'Zix, but was not enough. Immortals, their aggression kind of cost them in the early game as they fell behind, but it certainly rewarded them towards the end of the game, and all they had to do by the end was just kind of guide the minions in. They took their mid-game advantage that they got and rode it all the way to Echo Fox's Nexus.
This is becoming a meme at this point where it's Echo Fox late game. Like, they just don't seem to know how to end it. They'll have Baron buffs, they'll have inhibitors down. What are the steps to end the game? And it ends up being, well, Looper starts dying or Flame starts getting so far ahead that it's so hard to contest it, or they don't make the same picks anymore, or they don't do the tower flanks that they were doing previously, and they just let people actually scale back up. And it just becomes, honestly, a big disaster for Echo Fox because their early game looks really good. It looks really clean. Akaadian is getting them off the ground. They're getting those first 3 outer turrets, and then it's from there, it's just completely downhill, and it seems like they just don't know what to do or how to communicate with each other to actually close the game out.
Well, it's been a fun series, and that was another chaotic game, but for more on this series time game, we are going to toss it over to the analysts.